team. Cold just like hot, cold just like hot, cold just like hot, cold just like hot. You need to stay off Tatooine if you can.
Hey everyone, Hunter here, Forever Leaks. Welcome to this week's episode of Building Hoth, week 36. And this week we got a lot done. And I've got some really good news that I can't wait to tell you guys in this week's episode. But basically what we got done in this week is we got more terrain done, which I know doesn't sound the most pleasant, but it definitely gives the mock a lot better look. But other than that, other than terrain, we got filler brick, we got some more work on the mounds, and some other little things around. So I'm really excited to show you guys this week's progress. I also want to give a huge thank you to for the response of last week's episode. Like, I was not expecting it to get that high of views. Most of the time, the highest I normally get Building Hoth episodes is about 50 views, and last week's episode is over 200. So I was very happy about that, and as well as to the newcomers, welcome. I'm really excited for what you guys are about to see, as well as some really awesome news. So I'm going to stop talking. Let's get right into today's episode. Okay guys, so starting off today's episode, I'm going to kind of show you guys what the last minute thing I did that I threw on here, and that is the pink filler right here. I noticed, like, after I removed the figures, as you can see, they're gone. Basically, I remembered that I needed to place the filler there and get that taken care of, so I threw that on. So that was just a last minute thing, so yeah, it isn't the biggest deal, but it is there. I also want to make a quick question to you guys that I really want you guys to answer is that I've been really thinking about this, and do you guys think I should basically take all those off and actually raise it to the actual layer? Because if you didn't know, the actual layer of the ground, basically the plating at that, is 4 bricks high, and that's at 3 bricks high. And I'm just going over it, and the original idea was, the original was just to make a loop. Don't like that, and so I changed it and thought about making it, go all the way down to here. But the issue with that is I started working on that and this, and so it would just mix not well, and I don't like the idea. So I'm trying to think about it. I like the original idea of having that there, but honestly, I'm having second thoughts, and if I decide to raise it back to the actual level, I have the parts. It honestly can get done in 1 week, and I don't. That would be it. Basically, just raising it up to one level. Because I've thought about it, and if I did end up bringing this all the way down, it's already at 3 bricks high. And bringing it back to the footprints, the walker would be, because if you guys didn't know, I am going to be getting a second walker at some point. But if you didn't know, the footprints are already at 3 bricks high. That's the height. That's why these filler are at the height at the moment. So that being already at 3 bricks high, that means the footprint would have to be at 2 bricks high, which makes it even lower. And I don't like that. I really don't like the idea of that, because of the fact that the footprints would be so low to the point where the walker would just be a bit significantly lower than this guy. So I don't like that idea. I want to figure out what you guys think. Do you think I should just take all those those slopes up and just raise it up to the actual height and work on it that way? Honestly, I think that's probably the best choice to go about. Again, I have all the parts needed for it, so I have all the white bricks to finish that line, and I have all the bricks to go under that, so that's not worrisome. But I really want to get your guys' opinion on that. Should I do it? Should I not? I'm very curious what your thoughts are on this process. Now, on to the main thing that I did this week was, of course, the snow slope, or the snow mound. Basically, this is what I focused on this week. Now, I know that it doesn't look the most greatest at the moment because of all the green showing and all the weird colors showing at the moment. Don't worry, that's going to be covered up. I have 5 bricklink orders, and I'll get into why there's 5. But one order, there's like 800 1x2 plates. So that should cover that completely up. Covered that up. as well as that little bit, which I'll show in just a second. So don't worry, it's not going to be like that forever. It's kind of like, it was the kind of same situation right over here. I just waiting till I get that order in. So that's probably the most I spent on. It's really difficult in my, much more difficult than I originally thought it was going to be, because of the fact that it's actually 4 corners. It's this one, and that one. All 4. So trying to make sure that it doesn't overlap and nothing overlaps. I can actually slide this out at the moment. I don't have it attached because of the fact that I detached it from this. Originally it was connected. I detached it because of the fact that I was working specifically on this area this week, and working on that, I noticed that this side was starting to move alongside with it, and I really didn't want this thing to fall, so I decided to, okay, let's detach it, pull it out, and everything should be fine. But yeah, so that's what basically I focused on. Basically, it's starting from here all the way to that, kind of a zigzag pattern. I actually quite like it, and I'm quite excited to get it finished. I really like how it's looking, and again, it does look a little odd with all the different colors popping out, but it'll look much better when it's completed. At the moment, it is 3 plates high at the moment, so it might be. It might stick at 3 plates high. It might go 1 plate higher. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure that out. I do want to mention, I know that looks not completely right because of the fact it looks a little bit stud higher. The reason for that is these tables. The issue with these tables is that there's a little bit of a gap between this table and that one, and that gap makes this little area a little bit higher, which is a bit annoying. It actually patterns out fine around the corners, but the middle part is a little bit annoying. So it might seem that it's actually a plate higher, but it's not. It's the same amount. I've been trying to keep an eye on that. So like, for instance, this plate looks like 2 plates higher. This is actually the same level as this one. It's just that the table is completely moved up a little bit. So once it's done, I'm probably going to get a long piece of wood or something, basically, to make it completely flat. That way it looks much nicer. Yeah, so that's the main thing I focused on. I also realized that, I know for some of you who are thinking, well, why did you start working on this if you're going to end up tearing up some of it to put the second walker? Well, the second walker isn't going to go completely right here, completely next to it. There's going to be a little bit of spacing between this, and I've figured it out. I actually have this little, go to the side right here, doohickey thing. Basically, I know it doesn't look too good. Basically, it is the exact length between this toe and this toe right here. Basically saying, okay, if I want the walker right here, nothing can be on that side or on that side. So I kind of have an idea of how to do it. This is just self-explanatory. I don't like it. It's just a quick little doohickey. So I do know how I'm going to do it, and I know the spacing, basically, how I'm doing it. And again, it's kind of going to be right around this area, because I have something that I might put right in the middle. I'm not going to specify what it is going to be, because I don't know if it's going to be final, but James and I are going to come together and kind of work on that. But I'm going to keep this middle section kind of sparse because of the fact that we are going to have this one and then another walker right here, and I kind of like the little bit of an open area. Now, I did somewhat start on this side a little bit, not much, because most of my time went to that middle one. This one's going to be far easier just because it's just this round snow form, kind of like this one is. So it's going to be really easier to do. That one's a lot difficult because, of course, it's got the 4 different corners, so I don't have to, on this one, I don't have to worry, oh, is this overlapping? Is it not? This, I don't, that I had to, this is not. This is going to be just like plating and adding tiles. So that's going to be easy. That's why I kind of didn't mess with it, other than making the look of it, as well as adding some tiles around it. So that's, I kind of kept away from it. I'll probably continue working on it next week. But the other thing I did this week was continue the tile work on this section. Now, most of this happened today. If you didn't know, I record these videos on Saturday. So this morning I got up early and finished up what I wanted to do, because there's a couple things that I need to get done before recording this video. I wanted to do it last night, but it ended up, I didn't get home from work till late, and I was exhausted, so I ended up not doing that. I just went to bed, got up early, and actually did all this, and I'm so happy. Now I still have like half a bag of tiles. Not to worry, I ordered in a large order 500 of them. I know if you're curious why I'm not buying 1,000, because of the fact that there are a lot of parts in that order, and it was already like $100 something. So 500 was fine. It just, I like having them on hand, because if something ends up happening and I can't work on a certain thing, or I work to the point where I can't work on it anymore, this is kind of something that I can do, and it's easy, and it needs to be done. So basically, I left off last week with a couple of these right up to here or so. Didn't do much, and by today we have all of this and all of this. This is actually completely covered the little sniper ditch. All that's left, of course, is adding the tiles. I know it looks a tad off because of the fact that there's all these gaps between the tiles. Again, that's why I bought 800 of the 1x2 tiles, or not tiles, plates, as well as 100 1x1 tiles, basically to fill in the one space gaps, like this area, that area. Basically, to fill it in, I should have plenty to last me for a short while. But you just got to remember, it's going to look a tad odd with all the gaps. But after I get those orders in, it's going to look more like this and a lot much nicer. And it's just going to look really nice. Honestly, I was planning on continuing it on up until the trench. But again, I've only got like half a bag of what I have left. And I didn't want to run out quickly. So I just kind of stopped at this base plate. This base plate is actually almost done. Just a little bit more by the Crash Snowspeeder. And honestly, having these next to it, I was worried because of the fact that I was worried that the tiles being up next to it would look a little odd. And honestly, I think it looks really nice and kind of gives it a better look next with the tiles, as well as with the Snowspeeder. Now, again, not done because I still need to get those tiles and plates in. But even so, it makes it look a lot nicer, and I don't know, I really love how this is coming together. I can't wait to get those plates in so I can actually finish this and get it done and over with. I will say, rip to my thumbs, because I had to press it down with my thumb, and my thumb still hurts. But basically, all that's left on this is, this little gap between what I left off in the trench. This is what I meant, that there are actually going to be less tiles in this that there were in there, because of the fact that the trench takes up a lot of space and covers just as little land as this was just terrain. Another question I'm asking is, I've been looking back, and I knew this before I started Hoth. Basically, I know the ground's supposed to be white. I always thought tan would be a really cool, different thing to do, because it kind of pops out from the battlefield, and I still like that. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Should I keep it tan? Or should I turn it white? Because if you say turn it white, I can basically use all this tan bricks as filler and just order more white parts. Honestly, I still like the tan, but I want to get your opinion on it. As well as, one final question about this is, I know that spot right there that actually had a turret, one of these guys. I took that Lego turret off, but my issue with it is that thing still got all a bunch of wires and detail on it. And I don't want to peel it up because I like how it ended up looking. I can zoom in a little bit to give you a better look. Basically, that's what it looks like, and I like how it came out. But I don't want to put a full turret there because of the fact that I think it will just look a little too cluttered. But I have an idea of making like an exploded one because I still have a ton of parts for it. So basically, I'm thinking about making an exploded version of that one and placing it there. So it kind of looks like there was one, but it got blown up by the AT-AT or something along the lines of that. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Should I add an exploded turret right there? Or should I just peel up everything and make that regular groundwork or trench work? Now, I do have one final thing to specify. So, a little bit ago, I mentioned that I have 5 Bricklink orders coming. And if you're curious why and what are in these 5 orders is... Okay, so I've mentioned that I was going to do a second walker. I mentioned that at the beginning. Well, basically, I mentioned that I was wanting to do 2, and if I really liked this walker, I was going to do 2, and then when I finished that one, I was like, yep, I'm doing a second one. Now, I mentioned in the past that I didn't know when I was going to do the second walker. I didn't know if I was going to do it in, like, far February or March. I had no idea. And I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking, I'm like, if I push it too far, I don't know if I'm going to have time or if I'm going to end up wanting to put a second one because of the time constriction, because I've only got a few months before Brick World Chicago. And I still have another table to build, so... and I'll mention this in another video of how I'm going to do the Echo Base. But basically, for the second walker, I want to get it done sooner than later. Now, if you're curious, oh, well, when are you going to start buying parts? When are you going to start doing that? Well, I've mentioned previously I was going to do it differently with this. With this walker, I kind of bought all the parts for it at once, and that was kind of a disaster because I didn't know what exactly I had, and so I would just build and build until I couldn't build anymore, and then realized, okay, I still need this, and so I'd buy extra parts. So I've got a full-on box of parts that I didn't actually need for this. And so I'm doing this a little bit differently for the second walker, where I'm going to be buying things separately. So, for instance, one week I would buy maybe 2 legs and 2 feet or something like that. And the next week I would buy 2 more legs and 2 more feet. So I'm going to be doing it slightly different than I did the first walker. And now if you're curious, well, when are you going to do it? When are you going to start buying it? Well, that is why there are 5 orders. I have purchased yesterday, again, I'm recording on this Saturday, I purchased on Friday 5 orders. And all 5 orders consist of all the parts for the head and the neck of the second walker. So once I get those 5 orders in, the head and neck are completely done. So I've actually already started purchasing this, and actually a couple of orders have already shipped. So whenever I get those in, that's already done. I have all the parts necessary for it, and that's something I don't have to worry about, which I'm really excited because of the fact that now I know, okay, I'm starting the second walker, no matter what, because I've already purchased all of that. So all that's left to order is, of course, the body, the panels, and the legs and feet. So my guess for the next walker order or so is probably going to be the legs, and I'll probably save the body and panels for last because they're a bit more pricier. But I don't know. I think I'm going to do the legs first so I can actually do the footprints. One final note on the walker situation. I know this doesn't look completely accurate because of the fact that the walker actually has 2 turrets right there. Honestly, I didn't order the parts when I first bought the walker. Don't worry. In the actual, one order that's coming in, basically for those turrets and some parts for the walker, are the actual parts for the front cannons. And basically, I just doubled it. I found out, okay, I need 2 of those for the walker. Let's just make it 4. So don't worry, those will be built, and I'll actually add those to the walker, so it'll look, well, not even look, it'll be completely done. So yeah, that was the big surprise. I did start buying all the parts for the second walker, and I'm really excited to continue it. I can't wait to get the second one built and placed right there. Yeah, I can't wait. What I'm probably going to do, I probably won't start building it. I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, when you get the parts, are you going to build it right then and there? Nope, I'm probably going to wait to get all the parts in to actually build it, because of the fact that it does take a lot of time to build. And honestly, I don't have the space for a second walker unless I place it on Hoth, and I don't just want the head of the walker just staring like that, like a porg. So I'll probably wait, and I have a really cool idea that I'll mention in a later video, how I'm going to actually put this together. There might be an interesting stream. So I think that's going to be it for everything that happened this week. So I really hope you enjoyed, and let's end out today's video. Okay, so for this final part, I do want to mention a few things. So, one, I do want to thank you guys for everything that's been going on this past week, and I can't thank you guys enough. For one, we're like 20-something subscribers away from 200, and it isn't even the second month of 2019, and that's insane to me. So the response you guys gave for last week's episode, I can't thank you enough, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, because I did get a lot done. I wanted to get a ton done for last week's response, and I really hope it was worth it. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and as well as I really want you guys to let me know in the comments section whether you, what you guys think I should do for my 3 questions throughout the video. I really want to know what you guys think, as well as what do you guys think about me starting buying parts for the walker. I can't wait to get the second one built. I've been talking to Jay about it, saying how excited I am to get the second one up and going. So let me know what you guys think of that, and if you enjoyed, definitely hit that like button, as well as if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, and again, comment down below what you guys think of this week's episode of Building Hoth, and I'll see you guys next week.